Hello, let's see how we can solve this exercise. Chanel gets 2/5 of a dollar for 1/7 hour of work. How much money does she get for the 3 hours? Well, first let's just put from text into math. Okay? The first step is this. Not just the first step. The most important step is to go from text to math. Okay? 2/5 of a dollar, meaning of 1/7 hour. Now, what is going to happen if we just have 3 hours of work? How much are we going to get? Okay? The first step is done. Now we can realize it is a direct proportion problem. Why? Because the more we work, the more we are going to receive. So we have the more on this side, the more will be on this side. This is a direct kind of problem. And remember that when you're dealing with direct problems, direct proportionality problems, we can solve using cross multiplication. And why cross multiplication would be interesting in this case? Because the numbers, they are not helping much. We are also going to solve by ratios, but let's just use cross multiplication first. So how does cross multiplication works? Well, we just multiply those two, okay, x times 1/7, and then we just multiply those two, 2/5 times 3. Just one thing I just forgot to mention, that it's very important. Always check for units, okay, always. This is hours, and this is money and money, okay. They have to be the same. Sometimes the student like to just write the problem but does not realize the units are different. If this is hour, this is minute, this is not going to work, okay. They gotta be at the same units. Well, so we have this equation. What to do with this equation? Well, that's a good question. Well, this equation, it is almost ready for us. The only thing that it is getting in the way, it is this 1/7. Now, imagine if we didn't have this 1/7. Look, x equals 2 times 6 divided by 5. Okay, very easy. Okay, the answer would be 6/5. No problem. Of our 6/5 of dollar. That would be the end. But we have this 1/7 in here. Remember, in order to solve the equation, the x must be alone. X equals this. Well, I'm going to show you one way to get rid of the 7. Well, remember that if we just multiply... Okay, let's think about this part first. Okay, let's just think about this part first. Well, if we just multiply by 7, okay, 7 times, I'm just putting a dot. Okay, let's put the dots. 7 times this. Well, what is going to happen? We are going to be able to cancel the 7, right? Look, cancel, cancel. You see? Now the 7 is gone. But if you say, okay, Marcelo, can we just start to multiplying things just like that? We can, as long as we multiply on this side too. Okay? So if we multiply both sides, they are still the same. Why? Well, just take this picture in here. If we just have 14 equals 14. Good. Now, let's just divide by 2. Both sides. 7 equals 7. It is still true. Now let's multiply by 5. Both sides. 35 equals 35. You see? Okay? Whatever we do on this side, we have to do on this side. And as long as you are doing this, we are still not changing this equality. Okay? That is why whenever we have to do on this side of the equation, do the same on this side. And now we have just x equals 2 times 3 times 7 divided by 5. Okay? Well, this is not going to be a nice number, but let's see. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 7, it is 42. This is going to be 42 divided by 5. Okay? What are the units? Hours, not hours, I mean dollars, right? Okay? This is going to be dollars. And this is, if we just divide 42 by 5, it is 8.4. 8.40, right? It's money. Let's put it this way. That's it, okay? That's one way to solve it. But we can think in another way, okay? How can we solve this one into another way? Let's just do it. Let's just work. I'm going to take the same very problem, okay? We have x times 1/7 equals 2/5 times 3. It is the same process, okay? I'm not changing anything, but it is in my opinion, that's how I see, okay? Whenever I'm performing math operations, I must be honest with you. I'm not thinking like, oh, I must multiply by d7 and by d7, okay? This is not how we mathematicians do, okay? We just take the 7 and we just throw into these sides. That's how we do it, okay? Just take the 7 and throw to this portion here. So, we have this. What is left? Okay, I'm going to put the 7 along with those guys in here. That's how we do it. And why is that? I'm going to show you why this is the case. Let's suppose we have A in a second you will understand why I'm writing all this. Okay, and this is exercise, just leave it there. We have A over C equals D over B. Let's perform cross multiplication. Multiply those two and multiply those two. What is the result? A times B equals C times D. So far, so good. Now, let me ask you something. Let's suppose that instead imagine that instead of this arrangement, we have this one, B, A. I'm just switching them, okay? D and C. Okay? Let's just suppose that we have this. Let's perform exactly. I'm just even going to use the same colors. Let's do cross multiplication. This pen is here. Cross multiplication with those. Now, B times A equals D times C. Well, you must agree with me that it doesn't matter A times B or B times A. It is the same, right? Because when we are multiplying, we can just switch them. And why am I saying this? Well, because it is exactly the same. Okay, what is what I'm trying to show and to prove here? A and B are the same. It doesn't matter if A is here or down here. They are switchable, okay? We can switch them, okay? Just like this. It doesn't matter if B is here or B is here. The same is true for C and D. They are interchangeable, okay? It's a better word, interchangeable, okay? Both ways. So, in the same way, let's write this equation here. But I'm going to write like this, because it is the same. Okay, what am I saying? I'm also going to use the same colors. The 7 and the 2 times 3, they are the same. If I just want to write x over 2 times 7 equals 3 over 5, it is going to be the same. Look what happened. I just take the 2 and pass to here. It is the same. It doesn't matter where the 2 is. The 2 can be over here or can be down here. So what I'm saying is, that is why cross multiplication works, because it doesn't matter if the 7 it is in here or up here, okay, as long as it is in this diagonal in here. And it doesn't matter, okay, if the 5 it is here or up here, as long as it is in this diagonal, okay. And that is the principle of cross multiplication. What is the soul of cross multiplication? Whatever is on this diagonal, in this diagonal, it is the same as what is in here. CD equals AB, or BA equals DC. And that is why when you just have something like this, you can think, oh, multiply by 7, multiply by 7. Yes, you can, but it's much easier. Just take the 7 and bring here. X equals 2 times 3 times 7 divided by 5. Okay? And that is what I just wanted to explain, okay? When you just perform cross multiplication, that's very easy. As long as you think like this, okay? Now, in the beginning I told you that we would solve this in two different ways. The first way is going to be cross multiplication. Now, the second way, you're going to solve through ratios. Okay, how are we going to solve through ratios? Well, let's just copy our problem here. 2/5 of a dollar goes to 1/7 of hour, and 3 hours equals something money. Okay, now let's work with ratios. We have seen that this is a direct, proportional type of problem. Good. Well, if it is direct, if we increase in this side, we're also going to have an increase in this side. Well, it is proportional, right? If it is proportional, ratios will apply. So let's use the ratio, okay? And the question we have to ask ourselves, it is this: how can we get from 1/7 to 1/3? Well, if we just multiply by 7, 1/7, let's go in here, okay? This is our place where we can make the mass. The mass, it is going to stay in here. I mean, I'm just kidding. What I'm actually saying is this is our thinking process, okay? What is going on inside our heads. 1/7. When I multiply by 7, what do I get? I get 1. Good. It's wonderful. Now, if I just take this one and I multiply by 3, what do I get? I get, let's put it this way, I get a 3. Okay, so I start with 1/7 and I landed on 3. 1/7 by 7, it's 1. And now if I just multiply this 1 by 3, what do I get? I get 3. So I'm going to use, this is a ratio, okay? Here. This is a ratio that we are looking for. It is this ratio here. Okay? We're trying to find a rule, a statement, a mathematical statement that brings us from 1/7 to 3. Well, we're going to apply the same, okay, the same rule in here. Well, this is just times 21, okay? So if I just multiply this by 21, I get 3. Look, 1/7 times 21 is 3. So I'm just going to multiply this one by 21. Okay? Working with ratios, it is much simpler. Of course, that the numbers here are going to help. What is the answer for this problem? 2/5 times 21. It's over. I just wanted to find a ratio that would bring me from the first line to the second line. First line to the second line. Ratio is 21. So this is 42/5. This is just math, okay? When you just go to the problem, this is not 42/5. This is actually money, and this means $8.40. And if you just remember, okay, let me maybe put it this way in here, a little bit to the sides, so it can in here, so we can see everything. Okay, so this is how we can solve through ratio and through cross multiplication. And remember about cross multiplication, okay? Whatever it is down here, we can put up here. Whatever it is up here, we can put down here. But please, okay, please, just make, I must make one statement. When we are dealing about cross multiplication, this works only when we just have this fraction on this side and this fraction on this side, okay? If we have plus something or minus something, or if we have other fractions in here, it is a different case. But when dealing with cross multiplications, solving this kind of problem, you are not going to get anything much different than that, okay? And that's it for this problem.